And we are live. Go for it.
Hey everybody, this is Alan Bechtold broadcasting from the Bat Cave. We're back with the Fantastic 40 Masters of Marketing Roundtable Session 5. This is where this esteemed panel we've gathered tonight is going to discuss questions that we're receiving and have received from the attendees regarding taking your business to the next level. Steps, tips, ideas. This is everything from preparing a business to sell to just getting more money coming in, doubling the revenue, whatever. It's kind of open that way. If you're new to this webinar, this is the first one you may be watching. There's 4 other excellent episodes that are waiting for you. You can now watch Netflix style. Take a whole day and just browse through all of them if you need to. But hang with us. This was born as an idea roughly 2 months ago. One of the best times some of the best learning I've done has been in the green rooms at seminars when I was surrounded by incredible people like you're going to meet tonight and had the direct access to them to swap ideas, ask specific questions, and get the answers I needed right then. And I figured out that may be something that everybody else is missing who doesn't get that ability to step into that green room and have a group like this available to answer those questions. So rather than a presentation program, we decided to step it up a notch and just take questions and banter them about among ourselves and create what I envisioned happening and called all along unscripted brilliance. And so far, the last 4 panels have not let us down. So these guys have a high bar to jump over tonight. And I see they all brought their poles. They're ready to jump. So you're going to see some super great stuff. And that was an intended pun. We're just really glad that you're here, and I want to hand this over. We're also joined, by the way, by our excellent producer and director, Zane Miller. He'll be pretty much running the show behind the scenes, and as soon as I bow out and go back and jump in the Bat car and head off of this stream, I'll make room then for our wonderful moderator, Heather Vale, who will step in. To begin with, I'm going to hand this back to Zane so that you can, he will walk you through an introduction and let each of these great panelists introduce themselves to you today. All I want to say before I leave is every one of you here on this panel, I am more honored than you can imagine that you agreed to join us for this very bold experiment. And it's turning out far better than I thought and far crazier than I ever imagined. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Have at it, Zane. I'm out. Well, I'm
Great.
just
Thank
going to
you.
be an audience. I'll be an audience member tonight.
Good on you, Alan. All right, so welcome everybody. Now that you have context of what's happening, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves here in the panel, and that'll give everybody, a chance to get settled, and all of you who are watching a chance to meet the panel, so to speak. So let's go ahead and jump into it right now. Now, the first person that I see here in the panel here is Brad Goss. Now, he was actually the first person I ever interviewed, and I totally ruined his name. I called him Brad Gosay. And he was nice enough not to make fun of me in the not the hangout, but in the interview. I've seen this guy do some amazing things. You know what? My introduction just doesn't do him justice. I'm going to let him tell everybody a little bit about himself and his business. Brad, welcome to the hangout.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's always more fun when someone else does all the talking for you. You kind of sit back and enjoy it. But thank you for that. I'll just give a quick history. I started online in 1997. That was my first business. I started out in the adult entertainment sector. Was #1 for porn on Google for about 18 months. #1, #2, and getting about 250,000 visitors a day to my website. And got out of that business. Now I'm involved in mainstream. I own a stock graphics site called VectorTunes.com. I'm a shareholder in JVZoo. I have my hands in a lot of different pockets, so I know a lot about.
I thought you said you were
scaling.
done with porn. Wait a second.
Well, don't tell. So yeah, I'm involved in a lot of different things, and I know a lot about scale, about handling massive amounts of traffic, buying huge amounts of traffic. It's kind of my specialty. So that's it in a nutshell.
Great, awesome. Thank you for being here. Really looking forward to your insight every time that I've seen you on a panel or even seen you speak or anything. It's always been awesome advice. So thanks for being here. So next up is Chuck Mullaney. Now this guy is the brains behind SendReach. I was one of the last people to jump on the bandwagon, but I absolutely love it. Aside from that, I know Chuck as just an awesome guy. So Chuck, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you and your business?
Well, first I need to clean up that rumor. Just not awesome. Hard worker, obviously, and it's more about email relationship building than anything for me. And so SendReach was just an obvious evolution to that. I started online in 2003. Well, 2003 is when it started to work, and ever since then, it's always been about the email list for me. So a little bit of the tech side, a little bit of the marketing side, but really right in the middle and all about email. But I'm happy to be here, and I've got a lot of guys here I can't wait to hear from as well, including some friends I haven't seen in a while. So this is good for me. Thanks.
Excellent. Great to have you here. So next up, we have now on my screen it says InVids. That's the sponsor of these Hangouts. But actually, it's Vito. Right now, I read it on the panel as V. Michael Santoro. What do you prefer?
Either way, V. Michael Santoro is kind of my author name. I'm a published author, and essentially that kind of stuck online as we built our brand for our business. We launched InVids about 2 years ago and built an online cloud-based video marketing platform that does smart videos, and we're really excited about it. I've actually been working online roughly about 12 years now. Started with affiliate marketing like a lot of people do, and after I put my daughter through college and paid for a wedding, I decided, wow, this is pretty cool. I think I want to do this more full-time. I had a background in high tech, and I was an adjunct for Central Connecticut State University. So I had a pretty good understanding of technology. Then we went into the local business and built a very successful offline business and built a brand, wrote a book, had it endorsed by some people like Joe Vitale, and then we took it to the next level, which was we wanted to become more of a technology company, and that's what we're now launching InVids. So I'm really proud to be here, and I hope that can enjoy making a contribution.
Fantastic. It's great to have you here. So next up in the panel here we have Joel Com. Joel is actually, like, he already knows this, but one of the first products that I ever bought way back in 2006 when I was still working for a service vendor for Home Depot and was looking for podcasts and stuff to listen to about how to get out of the dead-end job and stuff like that. Joel Com was one of the first people that I recognized as an author. When I just went out there and started looking for stuff, and his name was the first name that really stuck. So it's pretty cool to have him here. I'm sure he's doing more new things besides AdSense. So Joel, thank you for being here, and why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your business?
You're welcome. And are you blaming me for you being here? Because
it's all your fault.
That's pretty heavy stuff. I'm a video gamer. I like to play games, and I was told there would be cookies. So where are the cookies at? I've been at this.
In the mail.
As of next July, I'll have been building websites for 20 years. Good grief! Has it gone that fast? Where's the time gone? And in that time, I've done just about everything that's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. So if I didn't do it, Brad did it. And played with some apps, written some books, done social media, taught on AdSense, spoken on stages here and there, and done a couple of webinars. So I'm glad to be here.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to the contribution from Joel Com.
Now there's contributions. I just gave to ALS, man. What's going on here?
Good times. Good times. So next up in the panel, we have Kevin Hogan. Kevin, welcome to the Hangout. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your business?
Hey, Zane. It's good to be here. What a bunch of very sharp minds on this panel. I know every single person's work on this panel, just brilliant. It's cool to be here. Author, written a couple of books, just like Joel. Spoke at a few places around the world, hung out, been online since '94, started a business '96, did okay, and Alan decided he wanted to get me to do this, which I was ecstatic about, right, Alan? So anyway, so go ahead. Good
Great.
job. It's nice to see everybody. I really admire all of you guys, Chuck and Brad, and everybody here is just amazing. Joel, it's a great group of people. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good hangout. We're gonna really leave things out with a bang tonight, I feel. So, last but not least, we have Michael Penland. He was actually here last night and contributed a great deal. Had a lot of awesome thoughts, and he wanted to jump on tonight because tonight is all about taking your business to the next level, and he's got some great advice to add to the panel. So here we are. That's everybody. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start with the questions because it looks like Heather wants to leave us in suspense, so that's totally cool. So I'm going to just lead the charge and jump in with the first questions. For those of you who haven't been in a similar round-robin discussion, that's pretty much it. We're just going to go through some different questions that we've already got and fire it away and let the discussion sort of take its own natural course. And I'll be there to lead the conversation. So let's go ahead and jump in. I think this question from Stephen from New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand at that, I think he's got a good question to start out with, especially taking your business to the next level of growing. He asks, is it better to start with a broad niche and then specialize for growth, or the other way around? Somebody who's very good with scale, I believe, would be a good person to weigh in on this. To start out would be Brad Goss. Brad, what do you think about Stephen's question? How would you answer it?
I think it's a hard question to answer without knowing what your product is, because I think that the answer could be different depending on what it is that you're selling. I mean, if you're selling real physical products where you want to keep your inventory to a minimum, especially starting out, or if you're dealing with fulfillment companies, whatever it might be, I think narrowing your niche and going after something that's that's a bit smaller and then working your way up makes a bit more sense. If we're talking about digital products where maybe they're a little bit easier to build up in terms of, you have human assets that are creating the products for you or something like that, you might want to look to go a little bit broader, but it's a tough question to answer without knowing what the product is.
Okay. All right, Joel, did you want to weigh in on this at all?
Well, yeah, because I can make myself look smarter than Brad by saying that I have an answer, even if I don't. So it's because appearance is everything, right? Perception is reality. I always like to come at it from a much tighter niche, right? Let's figure out something that's, especially now, right? When we got into this 20 years ago, or even if you got into it 10 years ago, you could hit something pretty broad and there wasn't a ton of competition, but there's so much competition now that I think the more you micro niche your product, your site, your market down, the more likely are to hit a target. And I may be right about that.
It's also harder to screw up if you go for the small niche first.
Oh, look, it's Heather.
Yes, and Heather is here.
Yes, it's Heather.
She chose to no longer leave us in suspense. So we got this first question rolling. Brad and Joel were kicking around. We were talking about, is it better to start with a broad niche than specialize for growth, or the other way around? And we've got some good tossing around of the question so far. Feel free to jump in whenever you're ready to rock and roll, Heather.
Okay. Has everyone answered it that wanted to answer it, or does someone have something else to say?
I'll say something.
All right, cool.
How you doing? Somebody's got to come in here and stir it up, okay?
Of course.
That would be me
that's always
in a lot of cases.
Okay, all right, go start stirring.
Okay. I'm actually of the opposite feeling on this because I do a lot of one-on-one training with people that are brand new, and I always seem to push them in the direction of something huge market-wise, because I'm afraid that it puts them at a disadvantage if they're trying to sell their little trinket in a little tiny market before they learn how to market. So from that avenue, I would say it's all about a big market first, pay your bills, then you can start specializing. But it would make sense that we all have different opinions about this based on, you know, where we're attacking it from. I just have so many people that have come to me and said, okay, Chuck, I paid you to be a mentor, and here's why, because I sculpt these things, and I want to sell these online, and I'm going, how in the hell am I going to find the 10 people online that want to buy this thing, you know? So I send them to something big, as in, you know, BizOp or maybe the fitness niche, and let them start paying some bills, and then they can do it that way. But I'm enjoying the heck out of this panel, to tell you the truth. Can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I muted myself. There you go. Okay, so all right, so we've got some differing opinions as usual, and you know that's to be expected. This is marketing after all. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to market. So that's why we have these roundtables, so that different opinions and different approaches can get out there, and people can kind of pick and choose what works for them. So was that a question from the list from the audience, Zane, or is that just something that you just
Yeah, that was one of the first
Got
questions. Yeah, Stephen from Auckland. Yeah.
And that's the only one. That's the only one that you did.
That's as far as we got.
Okay, so well, here's an interesting one. Usually I save this till the end, but let's just go for this. Scott Smith from Jacksonville, Florida is asking, what one mistake did you make that most negatively affected your business's future, and how did you overcome it? I know Joel's made a ton of mistakes, so I'm going to start with Joel on that one.
Boy, you're not kidding. Too many to count. More mistakes than home runs, and so if you know how many home runs I've had, you can get a handle on just how many mistakes I've made along the way. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made was bad hires, putting people in charge of my company. I've been embezzled from, and I had a person running my company that I think was more interested in running his company than mine, and he staffed me up beyond any level that I really wanted to be, and it led to a lot of turmoil, and so I took a sabbatical back in 2011 and let go of everybody, and I'm really happy because I'm a solopreneur again. I work at home again. My commute is great, and I have joint venture partners and outsource people that I work with, and the idea of ever having a large business again is not something I want to do.
Okay, cool. What about Chuck? What kind of mistakes have you made?
This will take all night.
No, let's just have one then. That's cool.
First of all, very similar to Joel. Except it was my own mistake. It wasn't a partner or a hire. I staffed up, thought that was the right thing to do, and put myself under $40,000 to $50,000 a month in overhead, and get lost focus on making money at the same time. So that was really, really bad, and cleaned that mess up. And again, now I have the freedom of working in my house in pajamas, which is a win. But other than that, I would say I'm now very, very careful who I partner with. I've gotten so optimistic when somebody comes to me with an idea or something. I can just really try to see the end game and get excited about it. But the problem is I needed to focus a lot harder on who I'm partnering with. So that lesson I've learned pretty hard.
Okay, cool. What about Kevin Hogan? I'm sure you've made some mistakes.
Oh my God. My life is littered with them. When Joel said that about hires, I thought that was just the great cognition for everybody. It's not necessarily just the hires, it's the people that you work with on your projects. You think your project is going to get you X dollars because you're going to work this hard on it and have your people work on it this hard, and then your partner over here who convinced you of the idea, but I can't. But they don't, and then you're stuck with it, and boy, and then when your reputation's on the line, that partner can impact you too. So you've got to really think hard. Don't just grab a partner because you think that they're going to be a good person to work with. You want to pick a partner based on their character. Do their values align with yours? Does it make sense that you're working with them? Are they really going to be profitable? How do you know? Is it agreed? Do you have it in writing? Do you want me to go on or just go back to Joel? Because he's probably got the same story. But yeah, Joel brought up the greatest. That's the whole deal right there. If you're going to put yourself together with people, put yourself with people who you really have certainty in.
Yeah, okay, that's some good advice. Let's hear from Brad Goss. Big mistake.
Okay, definitely. I've got no shortage of mistakes either. For me, under the hiring category, I would say specifically hiring friends and family was a really poor move when I first started out. Didn't know what I was doing, and I actually was, I was going from sort of, a certain level financially to a much higher level financially, and all my friends were at this level, and I thought, well, if I give them all jobs, they'll want to climb the ladder with me, and that was a complete fail. So, hiring mistakes, but specifically when I started out, I wasn't bright, and I thought I should surround myself with people who I trusted, and now I hire people. I go through a proper vetting process, resumes, interviews, traditional job hunting routine when I hire. That was a big one, and a second one for me would be focusing on loopholes rather than long-term strategies. I think we've all been caught in that, oh my God, there's this quick thing we can do over here that generates a lot of cash, and then it eventually saturates, and you have to kind of always jump to the next exciting opportunity. So focusing on long-term, sort of long haul, long game strategies as opposed to little loopholes.
Okay, cool. And I see Michael's back. Michael, you got anything to add?
Yeah. I've never made a single mistake, not one single mistake. But like everyone else here, I've made tons of them. I've made tons of them, okay? The biggest mistake probably is having partners. I'll never do that again. Second mistake is thinking I can do everything. So where do you find the balance between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. Life's about balance. So, is that another panelist that's labeled Invids there?
Yep.
I missed. Who is that?
He's invisible.
Yes, this is Vito. How are you? I'm invisible. Yeah. Can you hear me okay out there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. What mistake have you made?
Oh, you think? Yeah. I would say the last panelist, what he said. I think in the beginning, trying to do too much myself and putting in tons and tons of hours, because I really couldn't meet people that I felt had the type of caliber background to grow as quickly. The other thing is sometimes using a shotgun instead of a rifle as a business plan. You try to get too much done and you end up getting nothing done at times. And the last one, I have to agree with the other panelists, trying to hire some salespeople who talk a good game, but they really just seem to have a hard time taking action or being focused in order to hit the objectives. But those would be the ones that I think that I learned from the most.
Okay, cool. I just have to say right now, I just came from interviewing one of the founding members of the Guess Who. His name's Gary Peterson over at Eastside Cannery here in Las Vegas. And so I was going to say you guys have to be rock stars to kind of measure up to that experience I just came from. But so far, so good. You guys are opening up. You're being honest. You're being real. So, yeah, we're getting somewhere here. This is good. This is going to be a good panel. All right, let's see what else people want to know. Well, here's something similar. It's not about mistakes, it's about challenges. This is from Michael Frank from Chicago, who wants to know what's the #1 business growth challenge that each of you have faced, and how did you overcome that to actually grow your business? So let's start with Joel again.
I'm probably not the best person to ask this because I don't know that I feel like I've ever had a business. I feel like
oh, come on! I saw your office building 7 years ago in Colorado. That was a business.
Okay,
you may not be a business now. You're just a guy, but
there were some business qualities to it. But really, if you look at my career, I've just pursued what's interesting to me at the moment and jumped from one project to another. And that's just, for me, running a business was not fun. I didn't like the moving parts of having to do all that. I prefer to ideate, create, and cheerlead a new project. right? But that to me, that's different than running a business. I'm not good at developing systems and processes.
Are we going to get into semantics here? Come on, you've grown your business. You went from 0 to.
Do you want an honest
millions.
answer to the question, or do you want me to blow smoke?
I think you're trying to not answer the question. That's
Well, let me tell you, to grow a business takes a lot of concentration and determination. I'm being honest with you. The whole idea of having a business, even now, if I look at what I'm doing, it's a bunch of different projects, and I don't necessarily see it as building a business. I see
okay, granted, yes, you're creative, you've got lots of projects. However, you have grown these projects from nothing to multiple millions in revenue. So what challenge did you have during that process that you overcame and allowed you to actually bring in that money?
Growing them to millions in revenue.
I see that's a non-answer.
The challenge is getting everything done, right? The challenge is always it's finding the right people who are going to do more than talk the talk. They're going to walk the walk and get the job done. The bigger the project, the more moving parts there are, and the biggest stopgap is always people. For me, it's always people. It's not technology. We have the technology to do anything. It's the right people for the job. Are you happy now, Heather? Are you happy?
Yes, Joel. Yes, I am. That was a much better answer. That was okay. All right, we're good.
You unwrapper, you. Just unwrapped me right there in front of everybody.
But you're still wearing your shirt for some reason.
Oh, right. No.
Yeah, so. Joel takes any excuse these days to take off his shirt when he's been unwrapped. So, all right, Chuck, you're up.
Oh,
growth challenges.
I could have went through that same last 10 minutes to tell you the truth. I don't like running business either. Every project
all right, let's forget the terminology. Let's forget the semantics. If you don't want to call it a business, cool. Just answer the question.
Well, let me actually prove everything he said in about 2 seconds. I keep doing the same thing he's doing, which is going through things that interest me, and I feel like I can do something and make something happen. The latest one, I signed up for way too much. It's too damn big, and now all of a sudden I'm in business, and I'm not liking it. It's not comfortable for me. So, to answer your question real succinctly, I think the problem with growing the business has been to decide to do something super epic rather than be focused on the end result. The end result for me personally should have been doing what's in my sweet spot, which is, sit in my house, make my friends like I do, go to events, and create something, but not create something so big that it requires, staff, a lot of staff. So, yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, again, I'm the wrong guy for this too. Not trying to dodge the question. It's just.
However, you guys are on this panel, and the panel's about growing your business. So, just saying.
They're grown, okay, and they're grown, obviously. Yeah. But I think that what you're hearing is that the smartest moves are to find the real money makers that don't necessarily require you to be the biggest employer in your town, and a lot of these ideas that some of us come up with are so grand that they require that. So biggest challenge, people, no question.
I'm detecting a theme here. We keep hearing about people over and over again, that the biggest challenge, the biggest mistake being dealing with people. So can we just get rid of people and just go back to being solopreneurs? I mean, is that...
That's what I did.
I think it's because we all just really want to go back to that first one that worked.
Yeah.
Just you on a laptop.
Well, there's something cool about working in your underwear. I mean, that was always the selling feature. A lot of marketers played off that. So, you can't do that when you have 20 people in an office.
No.
So, well, I mean, you can, but I don't suggest that you do it.
Or when your business is doing a Google Hangout.
No.
Oh, no, you can. Because they don't see. This is what news anchors often go on air with, just wearing underwear from the waist down, and so we can do that. I mean, I'm not telling you what I'm wearing from the waist down.
All right.
I got nothing.
Okay. All right, Brad, growth challenges. How'd you overcome them?
Brad's not wearing any underwear.
For me, the biggest challenge, I think, when I started my internet company, I'm an introvert, and for me it was actually what attracted me was the idea that I could lock myself in my house and work on my computer all day and not have to face people, because I worked in retail before that and I learned to hate people. That's okay though, I'm reformed, I like people again. But the biggest challenge for me was the amount of travel, that's required to be highly successful in this business. I think a lot of people underestimate that when they start an internet company, that you're not going to have to get on a plane and go places. But I can't even count how many times I've been to Vegas in the last year, or different places.
And yeah, a lot lately. I mean,
and I love it. I love being in those places. I don't like getting to those places, and the travel portion, the actual getting on planes and all that bullshit that everybody deals with when it comes to travel. It's when you do it a lot, it's actually really draining. And I'm still shocked at the amount of travel that even though we have Hangouts and Skype and all this stuff, nothing replaces going to a trade show and working for 4 days on your feet and meeting thousands of potential partners or leads or customers or whatever it might be. So I'm still finding that to be one of my biggest challenges is the personal drain that travel is.
Yeah, I agree with you, absolutely. All right, Kevin, what about you?
When the product doesn't sell what the number of hours you put into it is supposed to have justified, you'll freak out. And so everybody who's listening should realize that a vast majority of your products are going to fail, and it's okay, and it's really good to fail fast. And get used to the idea that somebody out there is not going to think that you're as amazing as your family or friends tell you that you are. And then when they put the reviews up on wherever they put the reviews about whoever is on this panel, at first, the very first time, you're like, wait a second, that's not true. I really am not like that, and I really didn't do that. And after you get past that, you live. But a lot of people don't live past that are watching this panel. They think, oh my God, everybody said I was terrible, or my product wasn't great, or my service wasn't great. And then they start freaking out, and they go, you know what, maybe I should just go back to 9 to 5, which is like the worst thing on planet Earth. So get past what, and it's not easy to do this, but get past what other people's opinion of you is. Listen to it. You even have to listen to your harshest criticism, but don't let it control you, and don't let it make your bad days. And then when a product that you make, I've written 22 books, 7 were bestsellers and 15 didn't. And that's just the way it goes. And sometimes you just go, how is that possible? I worked so hard on that. And so when you've worked hard on something, don't let it kill you and crush you when it doesn't perform. Just get right back to bat, literally like the old guys used to talk about, Zig and Brian and all those guys, and just go back out there and get back up to the plate and do it again until you get it done.
Yeah. Okay, excellent advice. Michael, what about you? What challenges have you had with growth?
The biggest challenge is being a promoter, not a business builder. Having made huge chunks of money in the early days just promoting and enjoying the freedom to do what I want when I want, not liking people by and large, and wanting to be secluded and alone. Now that's the honest answer.
Okay. All right, cool. And Mr. Invids. Sorry,
Thanks.
Can you?
I'm getting an identity crisis here.
Can you put up a lower third?
Yeah.
Maybe Alan can help you put up the lower
I'm
third
sorry.
too. But anyway, go ahead and answer the question. Any challenges you've had with growth?
The thing is, you can have a great strategy and a great business plan, and you can be following it. But the one thing that's constant is the change that occurs, and it can almost make you feel like deer in the headlights. Like every day there's something new or some challenge coming up. And I kind of equate it to like whitewater rafting. You got to keep your eye on where you're going, but you're going to have to navigate to get there. And if you're too structured in your thinking or in your processes, you're going to have a difficult time. So you got to be very flexible. It was learning to be that flexible and being able to deliver short-term while planning long-term. That was one of the challenges. Once you get that going, it becomes a little bit easier. But people are the big challenge. I have to agree with everybody. They're a pain in the neck. You know?
Yeah, everyone seems to agree with that. Okay, so guys, we've talked a little bit about mistakes. We've talked about challenges. Let's give some strategies and methods, techniques that people can use. So basically, the people watching this Hangout in particular are people that are going along in their business. They're making money, but they want to take stuff to the next level. So let's assume they've already got their niche, they've already got their products, they're already somewhat established, but there's always that next level that most people want to go to. Now, there's also some stumbling blocks when we think about going to the next level, because typically people will have a fear of success, a fear of failure, a fear of moving out of their comfort zone. So there's those mental stumbling blocks as well to deal with. So keeping that in mind, what would be your number one piece of advice if someone came to you and said, hey, I want to take my business to the next level, I want to grow it, what do you suggest? I'm not going to start with Joel because he's going to rip apart the word business. So let's start with Brad Goss this time.
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Someone comes to you and says, Brad, I want to take my business to the next level. What advice do you give them?
I think it depends on the business, but in most cases, I find that people, have ignored the trade show route, and I think a lot of the time when you have whether it's a physical product or licensing type of a business or whatever it is that you're involved in, B2B, software as a service, anything. There's probably a trade show where 5,000 people in your industry are convening in Las Vegas at some point in the next year, and getting a booth at that trade show is, it's funny. I talk to startups who are specifically in a vertical and they could benefit from going to a trade show, and the idea scares them, and they don't, they won't even look at a $5,000 to $10,000 expense to be at AdTech or some other conference where buyers and sellers are meeting. So for me, that would probably be, depending on the business, would probably be the advice I would give is to get out from behind the screen and set up a booth somewhere and talk to customers.
I was just
saying, now you've done that a few times. Yeah. I've seen Brad at trade shows. I mean, obviously you do that model. Do you find that pays off significantly enough to cover your expenses and bring in a return?
I've done in my career as an online marketer, I've exhibited at dozens of trade shows, and I've never even. My best quick story is we were doing AdTech New York for an ad network that we had, we were flying by the seat of our pants, and coming from Canada, our booth got stuck in customs, and I had to go to Kinko's and print out a poster with our sign on it and hang it off this curtain. We had the most ghetto booth in all of AdTech, and we thought this is going to fail. It was probably a $7,000-8,000 expense for my partner and I, plus with all in sort of to be there, and we thought, this is it. We've totally failed, and we had such a good presence there. One of the speakers in one of the larger keynote conferences said, something good about us in his talk was like, everybody's selling this and they're selling that. Go see what they're doing, and we still walked away, with 3-4 times the expense in orders just from the trade show. Not to mention all the follow-up that came from it. So even my worst trade show, was a success. So I've never failed in a trade show environment.
Nice. Okay.
I'll jump in, Heather, because whether you're building a business or whether you're just getting started out, I think one of the single greatest things you can do is go to a show, and that can be as an exhibitor, as Brad was saying, or just showing up. Because we have so much technology, we think we're in the technology and website and app business. We're not. We're in the people business. It's still all about people. It's about the value that...
But all you guys hate people.
Sorry?
All of you guys have said you hate people, you hate working with people.
I never said I hate working with people. I said I hate running a business.
With people, okay.
I hate the role of being the boss and having to have systems. I enjoy people very much, especially cool people like the people that are here. But going to an event and just showing up, those two words, show up, I think there's more power in that to grow your business, because I can't even count how many joint ventures have come out of just showing up, how many new friendships, how many other business deals or clients and customers I've acquired, more speaking gigs, book offers. It just so much has come just from showing up, even when I don't know exactly why I'm showing up. It's that entrepreneurial drive that just says, just go, and when you go, the magic is going to happen.
Yeah. And I like how you're using show up there, because it's not just physically showing up, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually showing up with some intent. So that's some really good advice. What about Chuck? What do you think? What advice would you give?
First of all, I just got a whole bunch of information from these guys. Okay, obviously I totally agree with Joel because I go to events and there's no question show up is where it's at. Brad, I had no idea about the trade shows, which makes me feel like a total rookie. I can't believe I'm not doing that. Okay, yay, more flights, because I couldn't be more closer with damn flights. Okay, but away from all that, I was going to go in a different direction, just simple as this. You know, when something starts to work, I see a common mistake of, oh, I have to grow this thing in this direction or go pick another place to do this thing rather than doing more of what's working. You know, so if you have something and it's selling, there's no reason for you to now make 10 different versions of it to expand. Just sell more. You know, get it out there more, get it in front of other people, and you know, do the same exact thing over and over. That was where I was going to go. But trade shows, ooh, didn't think of that.
Your mind's been blown, huh?
Blown.
Okay, Michael, what advice would you give?
Yeah. The first thing I would ask them is, you know, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? How's it going to affect you if you don't take it to the next level? Because it really is a mental game. A lot of it's just a mental game, and if you don't have that part together, the other part's not going to last anyway. I've seen too many guys that made those quick millions, and they couldn't handle that. And that, as you mentioned, Heather, that fear of failure, that fear of doing, sometimes is the biggest enemy we all face. The other thing everyone has said, you got to get offline. You got to get face-to-face with people. And that just makes, there's a whole world out there. You can't hide any longer behind the computer screen. That would be my biggest advice. Get out there, do the trade shows, do the events. You know, find someone offline that's in your market and, you know, have a strategic alliance with that person.
Okay, yeah, good advice. All right, Vito, what do you think? What would you tell someone?
Wow, everybody's covered so many of the important ones. Obviously, strategic alliances and business development like that's very important. On a personal note, I think if you look at your competition and you look at what the next level is, once you identify that, I think you need to scope out what that means. For example, I think publishing a book, for example, can get you an amazing amount of public relations. And from there, building an authority site, for example, you become a go-to person in your niche if the competition isn't doing that, because you want to be able to stand out from the crowd. And building authority and your brand is very, very important to get to another level if your competition is stiff or you're blending in like you're just one of the crowd. You want to stand out.
Yeah, okay. And Kevin, what do you think? What's your advice?
I think Brad's story is a really good story to remember for everybody. Geez, we went and we had a ghetto booth and we ended up doing great. And everybody always thinks you have to spend a ton of money to make money. What you really have to do is exactly what these guys are saying. You want to have your face in front of other people as much as people are wonderful to hang out with, right, guys? People are wonderful, right? And really, that's where the money is. People always say, Kevin, how big is your list? And I say, you know, it really doesn't matter. What really matters is how big is the quality list, which is the people that you met face-to-face, and how much business and revenue you generate with the people, the humans that are in front of you when you talk, whether it's at a trade show, whether you're speaking, whether you're at the event, networking on break. That's where the money is really made in the kind of business that we all do. And yeah, we all make our money online. I mean, I make probably half, maybe, or 2/3 online, but maybe 3/4. In the old days, it was 50-50, not anymore. Most of it's online now. But if you don't go face-to-face and you're not with the people in your niche, whoever that group is, you're not going to make much. And you don't have to try to spend a lot of money. And that's one of the big mistakes people make early is they think that going to the next level means you got to spend a ton of cash. And you don't. Being face-to-face is way more important than spending a ton of cash. Go face-to-face, find the group, whatever your niche is, and go to the industry, whatever that convention is or the event, and meet every single person that matters. But don't just go, hi, my name is Kev. Say, Heather, hey, I want to give you a copy of my new book. Can I autograph it for your mom? And can I give you a copy too? And then do that. If everybody needs to have that book, just like Joel's got, and and maybe not Brad because you're at the trade show doing your thing and you're selling a visual, more of a visual situation there. But nevertheless, make it so you're unforgettable to where you become the obvious person that people want to do business with you. You become that person, be likable and affable, and you will do pretty well because most people just want to do it behind the computer, and it really is hard to make it all happen from right here. You do want to get out there and meet the people.
All right, so are you saying that even if they're scared, even if they're nervous about going out and meeting people, that just the fact that they do it will bring in some good results for them?
Yeah, you know, it's almost guaranteed because here's the seriously, I mean, these guys have mentioned, I can think of times when I went to an event where there were just far too few people, and I ended up getting some of the most amazing events on planet Earth. I've ended up working with a government because I went to an event with 40 people. I ended up working for a major university doing major consulting that was unbelievable. Why? Because I was at a 9-person event that I went to. And at the time, you're like, oh, my God, only 9 people are going to be there. I'm not going to that. And then you think, but wait a second. The last time I said I wasn't going to do that, what happened was I made a dollar figure that was taxable. And you know what? You just do it. And Joel's story is correct. Brad's story right on the nose. I mean, this is the deal. You go, you meet the people. You're always going to be nervous. I'm nervous when I go, you know, and who cares? It's like, get used to being nervous. It's okay. It really is okay. Take them to dinner, enjoy dinner, talk to some of these people that you want to do business with or you want to connect with or you want to partner with to sell a product. However it's working out, whether you're selling to them or whether you're selling with them perhaps, or just connecting because you want to know good people.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so we're back to the people again.
Darn it! Why is it always about people? And can I just say, Kevin gets bonus points for the correct pronunciation of the word niche, unlike my Canadian friends.
Niche. It's not spelled with a T. It's not
number 2.
It's not N-I-T-C-H. It's French. It's Francais as niche. Niche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is America.
Right, Brad?
That's
niche.
right.
Brad? Yes.
Right. Right. It doesn't rhyme with bitch.
This is why
That's right. Yeah, anything that's spelled with a I-C-H-E, microfiche. Do you guys remember the microfiches at the library? Like, seriously, it's fiche.
I'm pleading the fifth.
Little teeny fish.
No, not fish. Fiche. Fiche. It's different. Microfiche.
My mission is accomplished. Totally distracted.
All right, guys, we're almost at the top of the first hour. I'm going to jump off for a few minutes, about 20 minutes, and right now, Zane, our producer, Zane Miller, is going to go through a little bit of sponsor awareness. He's going to give us a little bit of a commercial. He's going to tell us about some things that are going on. Alan might jump in and help him. And then if you guys want to take another question, and I'll be right back right after the top of the hour. So
we want to know where you're going, Heather. Where are you
I am going to shoot another video. I just shot a video with the Guess Who. Now I'm going to shoot another video. It's like, yeah, I'm just on the go.
Yeah,
hardly
anyway.
working.
It's like she's in a police questioning room.
I know, right? Yeah, no, it's just little. This is the only place I could find. Literally, there's people everywhere I went. It's like there's nowhere I could sit down and just start talking to you guys. It's like, yeah. So this is the only quiet place I found. But anyway, I'll be right back with you guys, and see you soon.
We're good. Okay, cool, awesome. Have your fun with your stuff. Yeah. We were told by Heather. She's like, oh yeah. By the way, this is pretty much how my life works, and so she's like, yeah, so I'm going to be here and do this with you guys, but then I'm going to go and do something totally different at the same time. But apparently, that's like a thing that she does with all of her projects. So, like, to me, it seems like she's like moving from one video movie set to the next to the next to the next. Like, sounds fun. Anyway, so
is Brad getting stoned, or are you just smoking? What is that?
We don't talk about what's in the inhaler.
You're doing it.
I have asthma. It's my medicine.
Doing it on screen. I mean, you know, it's.
Well,
it's my inhaler. I have asthma.
Right, got it.
What happens on Hangout stays on Hangout.
Well, apparently not. I mean, it's Hangouts live, so it goes.
Well, I will. It does help that, like, Joel, you're seeing all the panelists at the bottom, but the audience doesn't. So I don't think we have many shots of Brad puffing on his ass.
Well, Joel said it out loud now, so now
I was trying to stick with, like, oh, it's his asthma stick, right? The new asthma vape pen.
You don't live in Colorado, Brad. I mean, if you were here, that's a different story.
I'm going to come and stay in your basement for a little while. How does that sound?
There's a nice, creepy place under the stairs for you. You'll right at home.
That'd be awesome. As long as I can bring 11 cats with me, I'll be in great shape.
Oh, crazy cat guy.
11 cats. Wow. That's awesome.
I'm joking. I don't have 11 cats. Jesus.
I was just the sheer volume of it was impressive.
We were all processing this.
So,
wait a minute, what?
So we're supposed to be
I figure if I'm living under the stairs, I might as well be a guy with 11 cats. That's all. Just kind of putting myself under the stairs and trying to get into the role.
It does fit the backstory, really, if you think about it. But with that said, we've got some sponsor stuff to talk about. So, Alan, we also have, Vito's here as well. I mean, he's the president, right? Like, I mean, should he take over for the sponsor spot, or do you want to take it? Your call, Alan.
I think Vito speaks better of it than me, although I am in love with the product and definitely a champion, but I have reasons beyond the quality of the product because they're supporting us, and help making this happen. I did want to mention LifePath Books. My company is also a sponsor, which is another reason why this is happening, and we make books happen for busy executives, professionals, the people that need the most, entrepreneurs who don't have the time necessarily to write out the entire book. We can take any materials you've got already created, any presentations you've given, notes scribbled on napkins. We can pull them together like the tax guy does on tax day and create a book from that, edit it with you. Throughout a process, I personally edit the books. We've got a staff of 150 writers we can tap that are capable on any topic, that can act as ghost writers from an interview. Whatever approach works best, we can take your book, get it published, professional cover, top-notch editing, out the door, 100% yours. You keep the profits, and it's the ultimate business card, the best business card on earth. I wouldn't even know who Joel Comm was if he wasn't a writer. Just kidding, Joel. But the idea is publishing a book is a great way to get known, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing that. But I want to hand it off to Vito because the other way to get really known is video. Tell us about InVids.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure my mute button is off. We're launching InVids. It was a 2-year project that we're really pleased with it. It's an easy-to-use video marketing platform. It's cloud-based and allows viewers to take action while they're actually watching your videos, whether to display it on your website or across the internet. It works with YouTube. It also allows you to easily upload your video to an Amazon hosting account, and it does all the transcoding of the videos so they can play back on devices, whether they're computers or mobile. And there's built-in social media and email automation. It even works with SendReach. So basically, anyone who's listening in, Alan's going to send them a link, and you get a free membership. Back to you, Alan.
Hitting that unmute button as fast as I can. But otherwise, that's our little break for you right there. We try to keep the commercials to a minimum because, like I said, this is a Netflix-like experience, right? Who wants lots of commercials? I think we want to get back into the meat of the matter and dig deeper into just exactly what was being smoked over there.
You know, nobody asked Chuck what he was smoking. I'm really starting to feel centered out here, guys. This is, I don't know. Is this a Canadian thing or what? Are you guys racist?
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
We're profiling here.
That's right.
Nicotine.
I hand it back to the capable team there.
Nicotine.
You guys are doing great. Let's get on with the show.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. So we're going to go ahead and move upward and onward. Heather is still filming whatever she's filming, I think. So I'm going to move ahead and take over some of these questions. Let's see. She's being diligent with some of these, but I'm being a little bit pickier. Okay, here's one. This comes from Stewart, Tom Stewart. I know there's a river in there. Tom Rivers Stewart, or he's from anyway, the place doesn't matter. Tom Stewart, or whoever you are, wants to know what are the best growth businesses in the foreseeable future. So I'm going to look at this as a question of, what businesses are attracting you right now, and why do you see them as businesses of growth in the future? Why don't we go ahead and start with Brad? I've heard a lot of cool things from Brad when it comes to growing businesses and ones to look out for. Brad?
Screw you! I'm not going to tell you about my opportunities.
All right.
You guys end up competing with me if I do that. No, you know what? I mean, I think easily the vertical that everybody is seeing a lot of growth in is mobile. If you're developing anything software-wise, the mobile platforms I think are the low-hanging fruit now. People used to always kind of start on the desktop and move to mobile, and I think the real growth space now is segmenting things out on apps. I mean, even Facebook is splitting things out into multiple different apps now. I've developed a mobile app, but I'm definitely not the expert in that space. But I know that we're focusing a lot of our future efforts through the licensing. Like, we do a lot of graphics licensing, so we're doing a lot of chat sticker licensing to mobile instant messaging type companies and that type of thing. So I'm seeing a lot of growth and opportunity in the mobile space, and that's where at least 50% of my efforts are in the next year.
Very cool. Very cool. Anybody else want to echo that? Anything that you're seeing that's exciting, something that has a lot of growth in the future? It doesn't necessarily have to do with internet marketing. We're talking about taking our businesses to the next level, and sometimes that's moving out of a vertical. So.
Yeah, I'll jump in there, Zane.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, mobile, obviously, but I also think personal development. It's a tough market. But people are miserable today. They're scared. They're afraid. Anything you can do to alleviate that, it's a slam dunk if you can really get into their heads and help them to, overcome those challenges they're having with the economy or with their business or with their personal life.
Excellent. Well said. Very well said. So does anybody else want to add on to that, or should we can go ahead and roll into another question?
Zane, I'm going to play with that one just for a second, if it's okay.
Yeah, of course.
There's also a different way to look at growth. I mean, what Brad says is absolutely correct. I mean, obviously mobile's big, and if you're making your stuff for mobile, awesome. But really, that's not how you really should think about business if you really want to make money in business to start with. Really, you want to do stuff that's interesting to you, that's fascinating to you, that you're intrigued with, or that's interesting. So when life sucks today or this week, or everything's going to hell in a handbasket at home or at the office or wherever, and whoever you're dealing with and whatever problems you got to deal with, you're still fascinated and you still dig your business, and so you're going to go after the stuff that's cool to you. You're writing your next book, you're creating your next article, you're making your next YouTube video because you don't necessarily love the process maybe, or you don't have to enjoy it, but it's cool enough that you like it to where this is actually, you'd almost do it if you weren't getting paid. Maybe not quite, but almost, and that's how you really grow a business long-term big, or just being old like me will do it too, but you really want to do stuff that you're interested in, that's fascinating. Don't try to fit yourself into something that you have to I'll learn all about, whatever this technology is. You don't have to think about it from a technology point of view. Think about it from what do you like to do point of view, and then all of a sudden you can do that, and that's where you're going to get. The competition is real on the online, so do stuff that you're good at, that you're going to be okay to find out what you're amazing at and what you're good at and what you're willing to really do every single day, because you really are going into business. It's a project kind of a business. It's a project business. We're doing this project, then we're doing this project, then we're doing this project. But the common thread between all this stuff, even if they have nothing to do with each other, is that we actually like this stuff that we're doing. That's how you grow a business for real, and it's just you probably end up in the same way, in the same end result. But I just like looking at things from that perspective as opposed to the technological perspective.
No, very good point. Very good point. Does anybody else want to weigh in on the question or anything that Kevin has said?
Joel, iFart?
Well, that was iFart so 5 years ago, right? That's not cutting edge anymore. Although I am looking at finally updating it and coming out with a newer version and call it iFart Second Wind.
I thought you were going to get graphic and call it iShart.
No, got some funny ideas for it, but not going to release that here.
I think I got something for that. There we go. All right. Okay. So this next one I think is actually is a very interesting question because it comes from, well, you know what? How they have it lined up in the name and where they're from is really confusing. So a doctor, what it looks like, he's posing the question, why do you think the word free is the most enticing word in the English language? Right? Free is used a lot. And I think it's an interesting question at this point. We're about halfway through. We can go with a broader topic, but it's something that I think that we've all run into, and using that word free or using the concept or getting somebody over that hump. I don't know. I see that understanding the free line as a lot of marketers like to use it as jargon. Understanding that free line is a key component and how to use that in taking your business to the next level. So, what are your thoughts on that, Joel?
Well, free means there's no investment on their part. Of course, when we as marketers offer something for free, we are asking for an investment. We're asking for them to submit their name and their email address, which is of great value to us. But I think free is the sexy word because it means they don't have to do anything. In our minds, free means it's a gift. There's no commitment. There's no attachment.
Good. Well said. Well said. Chuck, what do you think about this, about free and how enticing the concept is, how you use it, and how you've been using it? If you have any advice to help people use the word free to take their business to the next level.
Yeah. No, I definitely do. I think that depending on who's reading this, you've got the people that do not want to pay, obviously, and that's fine. That's me. Okay, so I would definitely check something out that's free. There's no real decision to make. But then you also have this whole other segment that means that takes that as I don't have to explain to my spouse why I just tried this out. And I think that's a pretty big part, to tell you the truth. But no, I totally agree. Like Joel said, it just means no commitment whatsoever. It's the same as finding it on Google, and really, it doesn't place you in a position where you need to make a decision. At $5, you have to make a decision. And that's why I think it's so powerful. It just is. I don't think any of us are going to be able to change that anytime soon. It's just humans.
Right. Now, and I've read that making a decision is like one of the most energy sapping things that you can do as far as a thought goes. Right? You have to make a decision. It takes a lot of energy, and a lot of people, they want to avoid expending that energy. So free seems to be that gate. So let's get your thoughts, Kevin. What do you think about the word free, and how would you encourage someone to use it to take their business to the next level?
Well, a couple thoughts. The first is that you want to be very giving with what you have, and so, but being giving doesn't mean you use the word free. I don't like the word free all that much. I don't use it much in our marketing, because if you think about it, you go to Christmas and you give your gift to your girlfriend, your wife, or whoever, and you say, "Hey, honey, here you go. This is free." I really don't like that. I'd really rather just give somebody a gift that's real and that's actually got tangible value associated with it. So that's the first thought that's worth considering. Doesn't mean that the word free is a bad word or anything like that. It's certainly not the most powerful in the English language for creating action, but it's a good thing for a certain segment of people. And the concept is really important, is to be sharing and to give a lot of stuff that people can actually use and value that they associate to you. So that would be one thing, and don't use the word free gift paired together. It doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Take it apart and either give something to somebody for free or give them a gift. I like the word gift far more than I like free. think about it as you're approaching your marketing strategies if the word gift makes more sense. A gift assumes there's nothing really in return to be anticipated, and that's a cool thing. When people actually get a gift, there's reciprocity involved. When they have something that's free, there's not reciprocity is not anticipated. I would rather spend $10, give somebody a copy of Joel's book if they want to learn about the internet market and say, hey, this is for you, than I would to give a free gift, which just sounds so not ideal to me. So there's a lot to be said there. Free is important. I have about as big a free line as anybody on the planet, I think, but just in a different languaging process, that's all.
Right. Right. No, very, very well said. Michael, do you have anything that you want to weigh in on the word free?
Well, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, free is so powerful. The problem with free is that it's taken on a new meaning for many people, different segments of society. I'm the old guy here. I go back 45 years to the mail order business. Free meant something entirely different to people then than it does on the internet today. And really what Kevin is suggesting, or not suggesting, but is right on target with, is there's got to be some inherent value that they take that as having some value. Otherwise, it comes down to people just creating this lottery mentality where they're wanting something for nothing. And so I like the idea of, I'm going to gift you this product in exchange for you doing this. I just prefer that over, hey, this is free, just download it, give me your email or whatever. Both will work. I think you qualify your people by helping them to see the value of it, as opposed to, look, I'm just getting something for nothing.
I like the words free trial.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That one is a good one because, obviously it's not forever.
I love it. That's a cool use of the word, actually. Probably one of the best in our business.
I don't know if I agree that free is the most enticing word in the English language. I've been pondering it here, and I could think of a lot of words that come before free in terms of raising my eyebrows. A blowjob. I mean, there's a lot of things that that would definitely, and I think the problem with free is, and it's been touched on a little bit here, but as a consumer, I'm trying to think like I'm putting on my consumer hat here, and walk through a department store and get pitched on whatever. Walk through a shopping mall and get, do you want free show tickets? Do you want free this, free that? The mental energy required to figure out what the fuck over is on the free. Where's the hook? What am I going to have to? Am I going to have to go to a fucking timeshare presentation or some other bullshit to get this free thing? To me, I as a busy consumer, I'd rather throw money at something and know this is a fair transaction. I'm giving you $20, you're giving me show tickets, or I'm giving you $100, you're giving me tickets, whatever it might be. I don't have to worry about what you're going to do to my afternoon or whatever it might be. So to me, I think I think especially on the internet, but in general, as marketers, we've beaten the word free to submission. Free is no longer free. It's free with a fuck over, and I have to think about what it is, and mentally going to that place requires a lot more thought energy than I want to commit to. I'd rather just pull a piece of paper out of my hand and give it to you and get something in return.
Great sound effects, Zane.
Hey, Joel, if you don't mind, tell me about. I didn't pay attention. Tell me how it worked with iFart in the beginning. Were you giving it away for free, or was it always, I think it was 99 cents, right?
No, it was 99 cents from the get-go. There is a free version now, but we started as a paid app, and it's still a paid app.
I was wondering. I didn't know about the conversions from free up to a paid on an app.
We've actually had more people download the paid version than the free one.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. But maybe that's because the free one came after, and when people go to the App Store, they search for iFart. It's been 3 years since an update, and people still go just organically look for it. There's been no promotion, and it still sells anywhere from 20 to 60 copies a day. Usually hovering right in the around the top 200 of the entertainment category. I haven't looked in a little while to see if it's still there. That shows you how much attention I've been giving to it.
Remember, I sent you a text as soon as I saw it on Big Bang Theory.
Yep.
I was in shock. I was like, they're talking about Joel's app on Big Bang Theory.
Yes, they are. We've had quite a bit of coverage for that thing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so did that like yeah, okay? I'm sure viewers would be curious about that. I mean, everybody's heard about apps and what they can do for someone's business, but an app that's been mentioned on a widely syndicated television show, a very popular one. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about how like what happened with you when that happened?
I don't know that there was a whole lot of sales that came from it. I think that that audience already knew. We saw a bump in sales when we were on the Daily Show. We saw a bump in sales when George Clooney said that iFart was his favorite app in Rolling Stone magazine. And of course, the biggest bump came when we got the online coverage. And when we had the lawsuit and we made a story out of that. Usually, though, it's media coverage, unless you're like on Oprah or Ellen or some other show that a ton of people watch, it really doesn't matter. The impact is minimal, which is why I won't get on a plane and go to New York to be on a morning show unless it's going to be a long segment and a really big deal, because people respond online. They want to click and see it. And who sits down and writes down, I'm in the car listening to the radio and I'm going to stop and write, no, I've forgotten already.
I had one of my porn sites mentioned on Howard Stern once years and years ago, and I remember sitting there refreshing the stats thinking, this is my ticket, man. Like, I'm going to get rich off of this one mention of my URL on the Howard Stern show, and at the end of the day I had 3 sales. So,
right.
It's definitely not as exciting as people think it is.
This is a really important lesson for everybody, even if you're not selling porn. The basic concept here is people think if you're going to get on television that everything is going to sell, but the thing is most people don't watch their TV with their family at the same time they have their computer on. So whatever they're seeing on TV, they go, oh, I got to get that later on. And they really do think that, but nobody ever follows through. So you really want to have your point of sale right next to where the promo is. It's just that simple.
So the Huffington Post won't help you today?
You know what? I did that too. It didn't work. None of it worked.
Joel?
I'm sorry.
So the Huffington Post mention won't help today?
No, and there's so many articles on the HuffPo that that particular one I don't think even got a lot of reads. If it was front and center headline, then different story. But just another article on a blog. This is why when people write me and they tell me that they want to interview me and feature me, my time, it's a time for money thing, right? And you have to look and go, all right, do I want to do this because I want to do this, or am I doing this because of the return I think I might get? If I want to do it because I want to do it, then there's no question. I'm happy to do it. But if I really think I'm going to get some crazy return, there's a guy out there, and I won't name his name, but he pushes, I will get you on TV and radio and turn you into a superstar, and it's your business is gonna bust out. And I just think it's, my personal opinion is that it's fake. It's not real. It's not legit. The reason to get on TV and radio and do podcasts is all positioning, so that you can say, as seen on, as written about in, as talked about on. That's all it is.
And you can do that with a single press release.
Yes, you can.
$400.
So you guys should all put out as seen on the Fabulous 40 Mastermind Hangout series.
As seen with Heather.
Yes, that'll get you a lot. All right, we got a bunch of questions here that are all kind of different, but let's have this one from Albert Rodriguez. I can never say that name.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Rodriguez. Thank you. That you throws me off. From Kissimmee, Florida, he wants to know, how can I create a mastermind team? I know it would help me take business to the next level. Does anyone have experience with mastermind groups?
We've got a great inner circle, but it's very hand-picked. And the rule of thumb is really simple with mastermind groups. make sure that you're surrounded by exactly the people who you're going to learn from. Don't try to be the smartest person in the room. Find people who have done stuff that you couldn't even have dreamed of doing. Put yourself in their room. Start measuring yourself by them and go, oh my God. I used to hang out with Jeffrey a lot, Jeffrey Gitomer, and Gitomer would look at me and say, how much you getting paid, Kev? And I'm like, I make X dollars per presentation. He says, well, I'm 2.5 times as good as you. That's amazing. Just torques you off. And then as soon as you start making more money, you go back and you talk to your mentor or one of your people in your group and you say, how you doing? Oh, I'm making this now. And then they say, oh, well, you're still almost as good. But if you surround yourself with people who are not as good as you are, all you've done is create a bunch of sycophants. It's not useful. Get in there with people who are really freaking amazing. Like the people on this panel. I mean, everybody here has sold at one point or another more books or done more at a trade show or done more in different segments than I ever have touched or will. That's who you want on your mastermind.
Okay, but then they'll be looking at you and saying, why is this guy here? He's going to bring us down.
Well, I might bring something to the table, too. It's possible remotely that it could be happening.
Okay, so focus on your strengths. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck, what advice do you have for a mastermind group?
I'm a hard one to ask for this. I've only been in a couple, and each time I felt like I was pretty much, midstream in there. There were plenty of people that were learning and plenty of people that had done much more than me. But I can tell you, however you do end up in one, first of all, I don't know if I would start one before being notable. Unless it's only with people that are in business around you, maybe. It really doesn't make sense to me. It would be a little bit more of searching out people that like he just said, that have done a lot of cool stuff and you look up to, because each ones that I've been in have been shockingly great for me. I mean, I was really blown away by what I learned. I thought I knew it all.
Yeah, of course. All right, but then the question's going to be, well, then how do you convince those people who are better than you, who are at a different level than you are, to be in your mastermind group? What would your pitch be? What, you're going to pay them all? You can't pay them all.
It's not convincing. If you're bringing value to the world and what you're doing, you're gonna be magnetic. You're gonna gravitate towards people and end up in their sphere, and they're gonna end up in yours. You're gonna find yourself in the same orbit, and there's this organic thing that takes place. I don't think you can force it. There's a synergy.
Let me jump in, Heather.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, Robert Imbriali, Alan Bechtold, myself, and another individual did a mastermind group once. The problem with that group was one of the personalities was dominant. He wanted to take, and that was me, okay? And the problem with that is that it's not really a mastermind group then. It becomes one individual trying to direct the thoughts of everyone else, when really a mastermind is the merging of all those minds to create a common thought or inspiration or some way to move the person to a higher level in their business. And so I really had to just, kind of back off. The week-to-week joke was, all right, this is all about Michael. And in my mind, it was all about Michael. But it can't be that way. It's got to be where everyone is sharing, everyone is giving. As Joel mentioned, it really should be in your sphere of influence or people that you're comfortable with, but people who are challenging you, not just people who give you a yes, yes, good, good. That's a huge problem sometimes.
Okay, well, I've also heard people advise that you have people from different industries in the mastermind group. It sounds like that one, you're all kind of doing the same thing. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is really key. That way you're not in that same little rut or grave, depending on if you kick the ends out of it. But it's, that way you're getting a different thought pattern from people. It's not just this same road we're all on. And that's what you need in a mastermind group. You need freshness. You need new concepts. You need new ways of thinking about marketing strategies, not just the, repeating it like a parrot.
I'm thinking of moderating.
Uh-oh. Joel's found the Google Hangout.
It's time to ratchet this up. This party.
Somebody always does.
Somebody always has. Let's do it. Come on.
All right. Very nice. Very nice.
Joel.
Okay, Brad, what are your thoughts on mastermind groups?
I don't work well in groups. You know what? I've been involved in a number of them, and to your point, Heather, the best one that I was involved with limited people from different spaces, so I was the only internet guy. You know, there was a real estate person, there was a person who owned a chain of restaurants. You know, it was a very diverse group, and it was designed that way so that nobody could steal each other's stuff. And previously, I had been in one that was all internet marketers, and these guys, you know, often would steal ideas from me, and you know, I found that to be sort of difficult to operate in you know, with a whole bunch of people who are doing the same stuff, because it's really easy for them to, you want to help and share, but then you know, you notice that that someone's now competing with you in something that they had no business in until they heard you talking about it or whatever it might be, and it's just a clearly I've had some bad experience with with the mastermind group, but yeah, definitely the best ones, and a lot easier to get into if your realm is internet and you jump into a mastermind or you start a mastermind with people who are in a variety of different business categories, because they're not going to see you as higher or lower on the ladder than them. They're not, you know, it's not a penis measuring kind of an event anymore. It's more about what do you bring to the table that can help you, you know, that helps the other people in the group, and vice versa.
How come the men invariably always end up measuring their penises? Like, what is with that?
Except the Irishman.
It's the size of the list. It's the size of the. No, it's always anyway.
I was in a really good one I want to tell you about. Phil Sames is a really well-run one, because everybody signed non-disclosure agreements, and it was focused on different aspects that could support internet. And I got to tell you, I got a lot out of that. I never felt like anybody was stealing ideas or anything that they didn't want to give up. But it was real helpful. And the real measure of it was, by the end of the day, each time we met, I was ready to sleep. I mean, I was ready for nap time. So that was really good.
All right, so if it totally drains you, it's a really good mastermind.
Agreed. Yes.
Okay.
Unless you're talking the whole time.
Gross.
Noted. All right. And Vito, do you have anything to say about mastermind groups?
Wow, everybody's covered it so much. I think some of the poor experiences were buying a product that included a mastermind as an upseller. What happened, you find out that most people are newer. So you don't want to be, I agree, you don't want to be the smartest guy in the room, because you're not going to take anything away. The other thing was they have to be really well organized, that there's actually a strategy and what there's going to be covered, instead of just getting together. And there's the ones that are really good are planned and then executed. So it's a learning experience. Like you said, go to bed drink. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let's take this in a slightly different direction. Eileen Smith from Clementon, New Jersey says, I need suggestions for where I can network or share ideas to grow my business with other like-minded small business owners. So taking it out of the mastermind group this time, but where else could she go? I mean, I guess it depends if you know Clementon, New Jersey or not. I'm sure that would help. I mean, I could tell her where to network in Las Vegas, but yeah, I don't know. Guys,
Meetup.com, you know, look where people are getting together. There's so many events always taking place, and those are small events. And then just look at, you know, the marketing and business event calendar. There's always something going on. Sometimes too many things going on. You know, several of us are off to Marketing Mayhem at the end of the month. Right? Great place to be, to network with people and have a few drinks and a few laughs and learn some stuff and get some direction, find joint ventures. And the calendar of events does not stop.
I would
Joel,
say
I'm kind of starting to get the idea that Joel might be overdoing it with the events over the past year. Like, we might need to stage an intervention and tell him to stop.
Not going to happen. Well, the intervention might happen, but it's not going to stop.
But you're not going to stop, okay.
I love going. I love seeing people. I love speaking. I love interacting. And I'll tell you, you will very rarely find me sitting in the room in a seat learning and taking notes. And it's not because I don't need to learn. I do. I just can't sit still and there's enough stuff I'm already working on that if I don't need more bright, shiny objects.
I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to have a new idea. Don't do it.
There's way more business that takes place outside the room, in between sessions.
Okay. Brad, what were you saying before I interrupted you there?
And rudely, in fact.
Yes, that was very rude. I apologize. See, Canadians are always the first to say sorry.
I'm not getting over it. I'm not getting over it easily.
Okay.
I would say to avoid events that are specifically designed as networking events. You know, there are conferences and trade shows that are good, and meetup groups, meetup.com groups are often very good, but anything that's usually labeled as a networking event, you know, and that sort of speed dating style where you do the whole business card exchange and everybody seems to be selling multi-level marketing stuff.
Run.
Definitely avoid things that are being labeled as networking groups in general.
Just call it a waste of time and money.
Exactly. Everybody's selling, nobody's buying. So, you know, the word networking kind of turns me off. I always think, oh, networking, like I got to go, you know, shake a million hands and bring my big Purell bottle with me. And I think it's definitely, you know, those types of events need to be avoided, and you need to spend more time where the real people are in your space.
Yeah. Okay, but those events are fun. I mean, I go to them, and it's really just social time. You need some relaxation too. It can't be all about business. But I have made business contacts there, so you know, you get the best of both worlds. That's Las Vegas, though. I mean, Las Vegas is a unique town, so it might not.
Yeah, it's totally different over there. You're in a vacuum. You can't speak to this.
All right. Anyone else have any suggestions? No.
You know,
All
this is Vito. Another local group. It's not for everyone, but BNI, Business Networking International, is very structured. You have to do one-on-one meetings with the other members and try to help generate leads for each other, and you get to know other people's businesses and share ideas. But again, it's very structured. And there is a cost to joining, but for some people, when they love it, they're there for years and years. Other people don't really like the structure, but it is another alternative.
Okay, and that reminds me, what about CEO Space? Anyone involved in CEO Space? Thoughts? No?
Those people work too hard.
Do they?
Okay.
I don't even get it.
All right. Kevin, what were you saying?
Oh, God, I don't remember. Whatever.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I don't remember. What?
All right, let us know when you remember.
I'm old.
All right. Okay, so here's an interesting one. This comes from Devendra from India, and he says, I want to set growth expectations for my team so I can improve their performance. Any suggestions for motivating people?
Here we go.
Here we go, yeah. All right, Kevin, let's start with you.
Non-employers.
Yeah. No, but you have. You've been there, done that. So.
10%
way to get best performance from
10% more than you really think they can do. That's their number.
You tell them you expect 10% more? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just really horrible at enforcing it. It doesn't mean I don't know what it should be.
Okay.
Well, I think maybe even like maybe we could parlay that into how would you motivate affiliates to mail, or things like the
hitting close to home there.
As a product creator, that's something that you would want, right? And that's the closest thing we would have to employees. Maybe we could work with something like that.
Yeah.
There's tons of research on this. The best thing you want to do is break people into small groups. So if you say that you have 50 people in your affiliate promotion, and God bless you if you do, that's pretty amazing. But don't just have one group and the top person's going to get a prize. That's a failure. All it does is get the guy who's got the biggest list. Sorry, he's really going to probably do the best on that, and you're going to miss out on the next 49 people really doing well. You want to break people into competitive categories. So people who are in that, say, Phil Same category go over here, and then people who are in the middle go here, and then you put people over here. And this is true whether you have offices or whether you're competing between branches of banks. And what we do is we create situations that are relatively equal, and people perform best when they're in relatively equal situations, particularly men. Women tend to perform better when they're in groups of elite other women, but not men. Men tend to freak out when they're around a bunch of superior people. You want people to perform well for you, put them into stratified groups. That's what's going to make you money, and it's how you're going to make cash.
Wow, that is brilliant. I have never heard that advice before, and there's so many affiliate promotions. If they had done that, they would have been so much more successful, because nobody wants to compete against the big dogs. It's like, what's the point? So, yeah, that's that's a great solution. Anyone else going to top that? I think that's pretty hard to top.
Well, I think Brad and Joel should have some really good comments about this.
All right, Brad.
I'm going to answer the original question because I'm not very good at motivating affiliates to mail.
Okay.
It's not really my model.
He's like,
definitely
no.
But I do have staff, and I've definitely dealt with a lot of setting growth expectations with people, and I think the easy thing that people always try to do is they arbitrarily come up with numbers. They'll sit down with the employee, and I call it napkin math. Let's pick a fucking number out of nowhere, and let's say this is going to be your growth. Can we agree on that? Yeah, okay, we both think that's reasonable. And it really doesn't, without any real data behind it, it's easy to fail, the napkin math. So I always like to look at past performance and have they been growing, and also ask them what I can do to help them to meet those numbers, because I think, if you're going to use the word team, you're part of that team, and your real role is to get out of their way and support them. So find out what tools they need from you. Is it education? Is it software? Is it, more budget? Whatever it might be, and empower them with all the tools that they need to get to those numbers, and then review them on a monthly basis. But I think you've got to always look at past performance, and you can't just map out projections on a spreadsheet. And it's one of those things where when you expect people to grow a certain amount compounding every month, people don't realize that you can't just do it. Growth doesn't work that way. We can let's just say you're going to grow 10%. Your sales are going to go up 10% per month, and we're going to put that on a spreadsheet. And a year from now, we're going to be making millions of dollars. And it doesn't always scale that way, the way that we think it's going to. So I think it's really important to not get married in the spreadsheet projections, the napkin math.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I agree, and we're in a unique niche, the info product niche, and whether it's,
what niche was that?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you when you mispronounce the word, Heather. It comes out sounding like wah 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 wah. Whether it's ebooks or courses, member sites, whatever, typically we do a launch, and it's not that we don't have products that aren't evergreen, we do, but typically we'll do introduce a product around a launch. It'll last 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, and we amass our affiliates, and everybody blasts at once. And one way to motivate them is with a contest, not because they need the bonus money, right? Your top performers aren't going to go, oh, great, I got another iPad. It's the competition. It's the competitive factor in it that the affiliates like. And I love Kevin's idea of, putting people in various levels that they operate in. So the guy that's new to affiliate marketing can push hard and still feel like he can win something. And one of the things some marketers do is they promise reciprocity, which I never will. I don't like that. I'm not like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Here's a product. If you feel it's of value to your audience and you want to sell it and generate affiliate commission, here's how you do it. When you have a product, feel free to send it to me and show me what it's all about. But if it's not a right fit for my audience, I'm not going to mail just because you mailed on mine. This is how it works, and I don't like when people mail and say we reciprocate. It rubs me the wrong way.
Your reputation rides on every single piece of mail you send out. Be careful, guys, when you're mailing stuff out, man.
Man, you lose me as soon as I see that on the JB page, and I don't really think it out. It's just a fact that I know that you don't really care. It's just going to swipe and it's just going to go. I don't understand it either. But obviously, they're in a better light in your head if the product happens to work because they did promote your stuff, and that's just human, But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
All right, Michael, do you have any advice for motivating people?
It's muted.
Cannot hear you. It's like a...
I'm high tech. I'm high tech.
There we
Thank
go.
you, Heather. Very patient. Thank you. Yeah, the motivation has to come. They've got to believe that what they're doing benefits them. They really don't care if it benefits you, honestly. I mean, long term, I mean, they may say they do. I liked what Joel said about reciprocity. You know, I think that's an excuse some people have for promoting anything, or an excuse they have for promoting nothing. And I think to motivate people, affiliates especially, you know, here's a word that I think is becoming, or should become more the norm, is to be honest. You know, honesty, it shakes people up like crazy. For so long, we've told people all kinds of things, affiliates and clients, customers, that if you're just honest with them, if you're just straight with them, you're going to get much better results than if you try to take them down that silver path or that golden road.
Okay. Before we move on, have we heard from everyone on the... No, Vito, what do you think? Motivating people.
Yeah, motivating. I mean, if we're talking about, you know, affiliates and that kind of thing, I love the last comment about honesty. I think one of the problems with internet marketing has been the shiny object syndrome, and they spend more money on a sales letter trying to motivate people than they do on the product sometimes. And again, being honest, writing information, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is you're going to do. Be honest about what the shares are, and you know, if they do hit, know your customer too. If I want you to mail, I should know what your list is about. What Joel had said, you get all kinds of people that just think they have something great, and it's all about them. You got to make it about your customers or your partners, and make sure that it's a win for them.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So I'm not sure if anybody has experience in this area, but let's just throw it out. Christy Calhoun from Oklahoma wants to know, is it complicated buying from manufacturers in China, because that's a growth path that she's considering? Anyone have anything to say on that?
No clue.
I actually can speak to that because I live in Oklahoma.
I thought you were going to say that you're ka-ching.
No, actually, I do have experience in manufacturing. I manufactured these in China, the ka-ching buttons.
See, that's exactly what I just said that I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
Psychic. Yeah. Okay.
Get out of my head, Heather Vale. Yeah, so, but you have to know somebody. You have to have somebody on the ground there, or you just don't know what you're going to get. And I'm fortunate. I have a friend in the States who he actually is Ken Surratt with Water is Life. They manufacture the water purification straws that get sent to Kenya and other third world countries to purify water. So he's got a guy on the ground in China, a partner. And so when I said, hey, I need these buttons made, here's what I want them to look like, here's the wave file that needs to play, can you spec this out for me? And he did, and I got exactly what I paid for, and I got a good price. If you don't have somebody on the ground that you can trust, then it can get tricky, because there's that barrier, right? They're the other side of the world, they speak a different language, they have a different culture, and it can be questionable.
Okay, so why do you choose to manufacture in China? Is it simply the price?
Yeah, it was totally the price. These things got made so inexpensively that why wouldn't I?
Yeah, okay.
Brad,
Anybody else?
Brad, you know early in your career you had stuff made in China now.
Did you?
Me?
Yeah, did you?
It was just traffic? Just traffic?
What are you talking about?
What? Okay, this is getting weird.
No, at the beginning of his career, he was in a different industry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the porn stuff.
Yeah, what was made in China, though?
What was that
The porn
to do
stars?
with China?
The Asian porn stars? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, is that where you're going with that?
God, no.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you were selling, I didn't know what you were selling.
I want to know
You're
what
confusing
Chuck
for me.
means. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Chuck.
Just forget I said anything.
It's a rabbit hole joke now. We got to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole time.
Can't unhear.
You're talking about dildos and marital aids and whatnot. Where were we going with
Yes.
that? He guesses. He doesn't know.
Can I just say this is the first hangout I've ever been on where that word has been used. I'm just saying. That's
What word?
What AIDS?
no dildo.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm crossing that one off my bucket list. There we go.
Stick with me, Joel. You'll get the words get much worse as we go.
Yeah, he's already said worse words than that. I mean,
It's true. I said blowjob earlier.
Yeah, but I heard that one on another one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Today.
That wasn't original. Anyone else want to speak to?
Reputation management. Kevin, help me out here.
I'm enjoying watching this. This is just great.
Yeah,
I
this
had
is
no
like
idea
a
it was gonna
sitcom. All right. Anyone else want to speak to manufacturing in China before we pick another question?
Heather, go on.
Okay, let's go on. So, Jim from Summit, New Jersey. Oh, this is directed specifically at Dr. Kevin Hogan, by the way.
Oh.
Why is the word free the most enticing word in the English language, and how can I use that to take a business to the next level?
Wait, don't tell her. Don't tell.
Let's see how long.
No. Heather, we did answer this question earlier. It's not.
Oh, okay.
We'll just pass this one. We took care of it earlier.
All right, you did this.
The short answer is freedom isn't free.
What?
I was gonna.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. So.
Okay. All right. Here's another one that also, I'm not sure how many of you guys have an answer for this specifically, but we can apply the same to internet marketing as well. So this is from Ian Hannaford from Thailand, and he says, after many years, I'm still frustrated by the 97% failure rate in network marketing. Is it really a way to build a growth business? But you know, we can apply pretty much the same stat to internet marketing as well. Like I think 97% of people fail in internet marketing as well. So.
But
Yeah,
for different reasons. Yeah, let me play here first if I can.
Yeah, let's play.
The idea that you're gonna. I'm a math geek, so I figure out stuff all the time on numbers, and I got irritated with Amway one. Can I say this in real life?
Yeah.
You just did.
It's a bunch of crap. I mean, if you guys get out of this stuff and get into a real business, and people fail at internet marketing for different reasons than they do at network marketing. Network marketing, it's extremely difficult to make any kind of a living just because of the logic of how it's structured. You can learn from network marketing, but really it has nothing to do with why people don't do well in internet marketing. People fail at internet marketing because they don't do what they don't know about. They try to find the niche that's doing really, really well now and try to sell something that's going to make money, and they don't know anything about it, so that's pretty much a one-shot. It's a one-shot deal. It's a one-off, and you're going to fail. You got to do the stuff that you like. Stay away from the network marketing. Do stuff that's really interesting to you that you like. And then online is hard. It's work. Everybody on this panel puts in hours, or they have. That's Michael, and that's Vito, and that's Brad, and that's Joel, and Chuck, and everybody here works. Heather works. And you go and you do your interviews when you're off camera for that 45 seconds. That's what real business is. And you will make money online if you are willing to pay the price. And there is a price for being able to work in your underwear. Part of that is the mailman laughs at you like every 8th day that he drives by the house. Anyway, so you can do it, though. You have to work hard. You do have to be honest. You have to have intelligence. You've got to care about people, do well, and care about your audience as much as you do the people that your own reputation with the people that are around you. That's how you make money. Stay away from the network marketing. You will not make money there. I'll just tell you now. You just won't. And online marketing is just a completely different world. You're taking what you like and you're selling it to a group of people that can benefit from it. That's a whole different world. It's 100% different world.
Let me jump in, Heather. I can. Yeah. Let me do a little controversy here. You can make money. You can make money in network marketing, okay? But you got to treat it like a business. Too many people treat it like the lottery. You know, you've got to build it as a business, not as a get-rich-quick scheme. And you've got to treat it as a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. You know, you've got to map it out where it becomes a business, and someone's got to sell something. The problem is no one wants to sell anything anymore in network marketing except the dream. And as a result of that, people get frustrated because they've been told in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I'm going to make my $1 million. When in reality, people do make money in network marketing if they treat it as a business. But most people do not treat it as a business.
And and those exact same things again can be said for internet marketing, because a lot
Absolutely.
of people, they're looking for get rich quick, and the 97% failure rate in both cases, it's people, and I'm not saying that they're similar. They're not similar, of course. And I'm not a network marketing person. However,
and I'm not sure where they get the 97%, Heather. I mean, I keep hearing they say it's 97. They say it's
much higher.
No, where do they get
I've
these
heard
figures?
that.
I've
actually heard 99, but yeah, it's every time I've heard the stat, it's somewhere in the 90s. So he's probably going with 97 because remember a few years ago, it's like everything had to end in 97
right.
instead of 99. What used to be 999, now it's 997 because that converts better. But whoever tested that, one person tested it, everyone jumped on board. But the failure in both of these industries really is about mindset, and it's about having the information in front of you about what to do, but not believing that you can actually do it, and so therefore not following through, not doing the work required, and not actually putting in the effort. And that's why people fail in both of those industries, as far as I'm concerned. Is that not?
No question. I think number one is drive. Period.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anybody in our world that's successful that doesn't have an unlimited amount of drive. Okay. But after that, even if you get past that point, you still are in an environment built on trust and credibility. So if you're not delivering or over delivering, then you need twice the drive I do. Okay, because you've got to constantly find new human beings. And I just think that, first of all, the drive, number one, I've never met anybody with the drive to succeed, even if they're not intelligent, not make money at it. Okay, it's all
True.
about the drive. Number one.
True.
But on the other side, it's when it comes down to getting past that point, okay, you have the drive to make some money at it. After that, it's not about finding like Brad had mentioned earlier, like the shortcut or the loophole or any of that crap. It's a trust and credibility business, so it becomes focused 100% on giving value. That's the only way that it will work more than 10 minutes, But drive, number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, anyone else want to chime in on this?
Well,
I will.
Go ahead, Brad.
Go ahead, Joe. You go, Joel.
No,
no, you go. No, you go.
No.
Okay, all right, I'll go. I think there's a high failure rate in every business. I think internet marketing, network marketing, whatever label. I mean, try opening a restaurant in 2014 and see how successful you're going to be. I mean, I think every category of business has its high failure rate because you're always on uncharted territory, and you're always kind of going on the unmapped road, unless you're opening a franchise, and even that has a higher success rate than most because at least it has formulas and systems and territories and things are somewhat carved out for you. But I think if you're going to try and blaze your own trail as an entrepreneur, you're going to be up against high failure rate in everything that you do. And I think it's already been said here, character is really important. Being able to you as a person don't have to have a high failure rate. The businesses that you attempt might have a high failure rate, but your willingness and ability to pivot is what will make you successful. The quicker you can shift gears when things don't look like they're working out, the better off you're going to be in business. I can't really speak to network marketing in general because it's not a world that I operate in, but I think all businesses have a high failure rate, and I think that's just part of blazing new trails in anything.
Yeah, okay, true. Joel, what were you going to say?
I was just, there are a handful of people, obviously, that succeed at network marketing, but by and large, it is very difficult. And the difference between getting involved in a network marketing and treating it as a business and doing internet marketing of some sort is you're probably far more likely to alienate friends and family in network marketing because most organizations teach you to go after your warm market first, right? And it's always a matter of recruiting people that you know. Now, in internet marketing, we also recruit friends and associates to be affiliates, but most often we're not going to family and friends to do that. We're going to existing business associates. And I think one of the problems inherent with network marketing is many people are not mature enough to stop to see people as people rather than somebody they can put into their downline.
Good point.
It's a human problem. It's not a network marketing problem. It's a human.
Is it again about people?
By the way,
seems to be the theme of this call.
When we're done, Heather, I've got a product I think that you should introduce to your people, and we could build a great downline.
Oh, okay, great. I'm really looking
I have a
forward to this.
fireside chat about it on the weekend.
We're gonna multi-level market ka-ching buttons.
Okay. So, anyone else want to chime in on this one? Talking about failure?
Don't let it get in your way and make it happen fast.
Yeah, basically. Okay. Yeah, this is Vito, if I may. I had a little bit of experience with multi-level marketing, and to be quite frank, the way they get you, you have to actually buy the product every month and be on reordering, so you're constantly having to buy product. The other thing, the products tend to be very expensive, so now you're in a tough economy, and you've got to sell a pretty expensive product, but the big part is they want you to sponsor. I think Joel mentioned about getting your family and friends alienated with that. But it's kind of like dialing for dollars. And if I had to recommend, I'd rather see them get involved with, say, internet marketing, because I see a lot of the successful people in network marketing, they end up building tools to sell to other MLMs. They almost get out of the sponsoring business, and they build, here's how to generate leads or what have you in businesses. But it's a tough business, and if you don't get a leader in your downline like they tell you to do, you're doing all the work. You're constantly calling people and trying to build. And it really could be a house of cards if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, and I'm going to put a little addendum on there, is that I've actually been part of several, but never in the role of, okay, I'm going to build an organization. I've had other reasons for joining. I wanted to try the product, for example, like I did that with Shakeology. And then I told people that I did it, but I wasn't out there trying to recruit people or actively sell it. At another organization, they have some really large events, and they need social media. But in order to be considered to be a speaker for this audience, you need to be in the organization. Kevin's smiling because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And so there's an investment for me to go, you know what? I'll try this. I'm not going to sell it, but if I'm in and I can make the right contacts and it helps grow another part of my so-called not business, then why not? Because really anybody in business, they need to know what it is that we're teaching about business.
Yes, very true. All right, so guys, we're almost at the top of the second hour. We're heading into the end of the show here, so we kind of like to wrap it up now and get everyone's final thoughts for the day. Anything that you wanted to say earlier, didn't get a chance to, you just want to wrap it up about growing your business. Anything you want to say? Let's start with Brad.
Okay, start with me. I don't know if I have much to say here. I mean, I think we've covered quite a few cool topics.
Oh, come on. There's always something final to say.
For me, the big mistake that I made along the way, another mistake, I guess, if I'm going to go back to that original question, that I made along the way was thinking that I needed the trappings of growth to grow. At the height of my business, I had I owned my own commercial building, 2,000 square foot building. I had, huge overheads and staff and things that I didn't really need. And success can kind of breed laziness, so you tend to throw money at things when money's coming in that doesn't necessarily need to be there, and all these monthly expenses and all this kind of stuff. And along the way, I've upsized my business and downsized my business. I'm back to working from home, which I really love, and I've shed off a lot of these sort of crazy trappings of growth along the way. So really ask yourself if these things are necessary as your business is growing. Do I need an office space? Do I need to buy a building? Do I need, all these additional taxes and expenses and all these other things? And are they going to really make a difference on my bottom line? And if they're not going to, then be smart about the trappings that you take on when you're growing.
Great.
Okay. How about Joel? What do you think? Final thoughts?
Life is not about making money. We are unique individuals, and I believe we are, and we're designed to bring value to the world around us. We need to discover the best way that we can do that. But I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I think all of us here can relate to the swings. Nothing is, forever. The markets are always changing, and way more important to me today than building the business and making a bucket load of money is the lifestyle that I enjoy. Time to hang out with friends, time to have leisure time, to be able to go and travel and go to events if I want to, do business if I want to, and not if I don't, and not worry about growing this megalith of an organization. It's just, life is short. I just turned 50, and there's too much stress in all that. It's like, what do you need and what do you want to accomplish the lifestyle that you enjoy having? And I don't think people look back on their lives and go, man, I'm glad I worked 80 hours a week and made this boatload of cash. It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
If it's worth it to you, then you have my blessing. Go and work your butt off and make a boatload of cash.
Okay. Chuck, final thoughts?
Pretty damn similar to both. Yes, I totally agree with Brad on that upscaling thing. In my head, it was I had this grandiose plan, and then by the time I got there, I realized I made less money doing it, and it was wanted to shoot myself in the forehead. So, that I couldn't agree more. If you have some success, that does not mean go to this, whatever you have stuck in the back of your head is, going into major growth. As far as Joel, I'm right there with him. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I remember right in the beginning being so focused on, there was no question about stress wasn't even an issue. It was about going after stuff and growing it. But I'm not there anymore. I don't really feel that way anymore. I feel like it's about the lifestyle. And also, I want to add that when you have a business like internet marketing, or even, I guess, network marketing, I'm kind of guessing because I haven't done that. I think that really the only way to find any stability in this is to build an email list and take very good care of them. Because then with that relationship, you're built to swing whichever way the market does. But other than that, pretty damn close to what everybody else thought here. I'm glad it was all said. I didn't have to be the guy to whip it all out, but I'm in agreement.
All right, there we go again with the dirty analogies. Okay. Vito, final thoughts.
Okay. Now, I mean, obviously everybody's been so good at summarizing. Going last is tough because you have all these great people ahead of you. It's like, okay, what the hell am I going to say now, But essentially, I think if you define your growth and you're clear on what it is, that makes a big difference. And if you make it achievable and have a positive mindset, you're going to be doing it. But by all means, avoid negative people. That could throw you off more than anything, and from a business perspective. It's just positive people will help you achieve your goal. And enjoy the journey. Life is too short.
Nice. Okay.
That's
all
it.
Right, Michael.
Thank you.
Michael, final thoughts.
Yeah, have an exit strategy for partners, for your business. If you're branding yourself, you really don't have a business you're going to sell. Build a business, not a brand of yourself. And the biggie to me, I said this last night, don't let anyone steal your dream. It only takes one person to make that dream come true. That one person is you. So everyone listening, don't give up, don't quit, don't give in. Just do it.
Okay, cool. And Kevin, final thoughts of the day.
It's okay to fail. Fail quickly and know that it happens to everybody. People who make millions and millions and millions of dollars fail all the time. It's a good thing. Make sure that you do smart marketing hours. Don't waste your time doing stuff that doesn't matter. What doesn't matter? I don't want to say because I don't want anybody to get mad, but think about the things that you do every day that aren't producing, revenue, and then look at the things that you're doing to serve your audience, and then do those things. So do the things that are serving your audience, and do smart marketing hours. Those are the two things that are going to pay off. And if you look at your list, I hate the word list. If you look at your list as a fan base or friends that you're going to meet someday, you treat them a little differently than you really do. And I know everybody always goes, "Oh my God," but this is just reality. If you look at people like you really care about them, because you do, as irritating as they can be, your customers are always irritating people, but God, they're great people though too. We love them, and you treat them better than you do anybody in the world. And it lasts a long time. It lasts a long time. Be okay to fail, and be okay to develop real relationships that matter with people.
Okay, great. So this is it. We're at the end of the Hangout. You guys have been a great panel to have for the final show of the week, wrapping up the week. We've had a lot of good Hangouts this week, but this was actually a great way to end it and help people take things to the next level. So I want to thank you all for being here, for sharing, for being real, being honest, and just being a part of creating something that we kind of masterminded on this. So thanks for being part of our mastermind.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks
out
for
of here
having us.
now. I'm going to hand it back to Zane and Alan, and they're going to wrap things up. I unwrapped, now they wrap again.
We're all rappers here.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yo.
Thanks, guys.
Word. Yeah, thanks, Heather. Yeah, that's me rapping from the 801 Salt Lake City. What? Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But I actually wanted to post this comment here through the awesome comment tracker. Christy says, and I agree. This has been the funnest group, and a lot of laughing. And she says, thanks for the belly laughs. The highest quality of laughs, which are the belly laughs, right? So you guys have been awesome. But we've got Alan back here. I do want to share my screen with you real quick, and it's not the Deshaun.
Thank God! I thought you were going to show Deshaun.
No, come on.
Inside joke, people. Inside joke.
Inside, yeah. It's a panelist thing. Come on. All right. So what you're looking at?
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. So if you're watching on the YouTube watch page right here, this is the link that takes you to the Google Plus community, where we are continuing the conversation. Any of the panelists who want to talk about the products that they're about to be making or they have made, this is the place that they're going to post them in addition to wherever they're posting. Even if I got to do it myself, so right on. So come and join the community. Again, the conversation will continue here. So that was the thing that I wanted to add here. So, Alan, welcome back. Take it away, or let's close this thing up. Whatever the next thing we got to do. Catchphrase.
Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. There we go. Did you unlock? Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
Oh God, help us all. This has been fantastic. I can't believe we're at the end of these 5 days. But all I can say is, Brad, if you do move into Joel's Under the Stairs with those cats, I have a lot of experience herding cats from this last week. I'll go help.
I really only need help cleaning up all their
wonderful.
shit. I'm not worried about anything else. It's just the cat litter. Herding is not a problem.
Oh man, well I don't do the cleanup very well, so
it's all those piss clumps that I'm worried about.
Offer off the table. But I just wanted to say what an incredible experience this has been, running this experiment, and you guys have been champions through this entire webinar series, and to appear on tonight and do the job you've done on a Saturday night, no less, and carry across with a Saturday night kind of party feel. I think it was appropriate, actually. We probably should have put the 18+ limit on the video, but what the hell? It's nothing nobody's heard before, right?
Sorry, guys.
But again, I just want to thank everyone. I want to remind everyone that that the lifepathbooks.com is one of the sponsors here, and InVids with a Z, that's INVIDZ.com, has made this possible. As soon as we close this out, the recording's available. You can still, when you're watching the recording, you can go register at thefantastic40 with a 40.com and get one PDF where we haven't got it quite put together yet, but it will be as of tomorrow, I think, of all of these great panelists from all 5 sessions, the gifts and goodies they brought, the schedule and everything. And still download that, even if you're watching, like I said, Netflix style and spending an entire day with going through the entire 10 hours. Thanks to everybody. Hate to bring it to an end. It's been so great getting to work here with Kevin and Joel, nephew, my favorite nephew, Joel, and Michael,
Uncle Alan.
Vito, and Vito, and Chuck, and I've just Brad. I've never worked with you guys, but boy, is it fun watching you work. I want to work more with you. All right, let's just end it there. Everybody, have a great night. It's you can see you may not be able to see it in my video. There's bottles behind me here. I'm going to be putting on my party hat and celebrating the end. So I encourage you all to imbibe in your favorite. Good night.
Good meeting.